Making money in the crypto markets can often be incredibly difficult and complex, particularly when you try and learn TA, try and add a bunch of indicators, and then, yes, get overwhelmed with MACD, RSI, Stochastics, and many more that can just throw you in random directions without you actually making money. Now, this used to be a problem for me, but now I use an indicator called the signaler, and honestly, guys, this thing is incredible. Let's dive into the video so I can show you how it works. All right, guys, an important part about this strategy is that you have Heikin Ashi candles. So normally you have normal candles up here, right? So instead of using those, you're going to select this button, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to click Heikin Ashi. This will make sure you get the most ROI on your trades. It's essential for this strategy. So this is the signaler bot. We are on Solana here, but this does work on a bunch of different assets, particularly in crypto, where we do often get really nice trends. But the way this thing works is super simple. Let me just explain it for you. Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice, but we can see here that we do have a red line and a blue line. Now, the way this works is when price crosses over one of these lines, it will give a signal. So in this case, we can see we did get a short signal, and then this red line does become an area that follows price. Now, you want to be using this red line as your stop loss. This is going to be super important after you've got the signal. So you want to be updating it every candle. In this case, because it's a daily, you want to be updating this and changing your stop loss to wherever this is at the end of the day. And it's as simple as that. Now, for longs, it's pretty much the same here, where yes, when we cross over the red line, it's actually going to give us a long signal, and then this blue line is going to be our trailing stop loss. And as you can see here, guys, that yes, we would have made ridiculous money taking this long signal. That would have been a 63% trade on Solana. But where would you actually take profit on an indicator like this? Now, if you're a complete beginner, guys, you could just have your take profits as your stop loss. That's absolutely fine. You can make money doing that. But as a trader, if you do know a little bit about take profits, guys, I would just say, hey, look for areas in which we have hit previously, and those areas would be resistances. So naturally, common sense wise, that's where you want to be taking profit. So we can see here, you would have got a 30% trade if we just rode this up all the way up to the previous high here. And then potentially you could stagger your take profits along if we do break over that as well. Now, on the short side, it's exactly the same, just on the opposite, right? So we would have this support level down here. This would be roughly where we want our take profit to be. Now, if we're in a bull market and we get a short signal, just remember you want your take profits closer. So maybe you want to be targeting this low here, for example, or this low. That's absolutely fine. And the point being is you want to create a no loss scenario. So yes, you would take the signal, have your stop loss coming down with this red line, and then obviously hit those take profits along the way. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is going to be something that doesn't work for every single trade. Any indicator that claims to do that is just basically a scam. But the best thing about this indicator here, guys, is the uptrends, as you can see here, do far outweigh and exceed these sideways periods where it's a bit more trappy, as you can see here. So if we can look at this, we can say, hey, yes, we had a sideways period here, although we did get a few very nice trades here anyway. But after that sideways period ends, we break out and start a massive trend. That could be up or down, of course. This case is obviously a bull market, but we can see here, yes, massive uptrend, ridiculous profit on this thing. And if we were just going to put a percentage on that until we do actually even hit that stop loss zone, that would have been a 500% trade on the daily. That is ridiculous, and it far exceeds any kind of break-evens or losses in the previous section. Exactly the same for shorts as well here, guys. You can see that, yes, there was one long that potentially didn't work out here, although just managing your take profits based on supports, as we talked about previously, that's fine. That would have been a profitable trade. But as you can see here coming down, that would have been a 55% trade here all the way down to that stop loss point. So fantastic stuff there. This is just one example of how this indicator can work on just one asset. This works on BTC, most cryptos, most high caps, mid caps. This will work fantastically on. And it's not just the daily as well. We can go to the 4 hour here and see that, yes, it will work fantastically as well here on that short here. You can see, obviously, it's not going to be as good the lower time frames you go down, but on the higher time frames like the daily, the 12 hour, 6 hour, 4 hour, those time frames are fantastic for this indicator. Now, obviously, this is a signaler bot. So how do we actually set up alerts on TradingView so you can get the signals? All we're going to do here is actually go to the bot here. If it's hidden, then all we're going to do is press this little button here. And then, yes, we're going to go to these three dots, add alert on the signaler. Now, super important here, guys, whatever time frame you are on is going to be the time frame this alert is set to. So if you're using a 1 hour, it will be set to the 1 hour. If you're on daily like I am now, this will be setting it up on the daily. But super simple to get this done. All you got to do is select which notifications you want. So if you want it in app, you can do so. If you want it on email, you can do so as well. If you have an automated system with webhooks, a little bit advanced, but if you do, then you can set that up here as well. You can also choose the sound that you want to hear, and you can have different sounds for different indicators. So we can use this one very easily and know that it is the signaler bot. But once we're happy with that, we don't really have to say anything here. We can add a custom name if we want, but not really necessary. We also set an expiry date, but let's just leave it as it is. We press create, and then if we go over to our alerts, we can see that yes, we do have those alerts set and active. And once we cross any of those lines, whether it's the red or the blue line, we're actually going to get an alert come through that will actually let us know that the signaler bot has given a signal. So fantastic stuff. But how do you actually get the indicator? Well, first of all, we're going to actually click the link in the description. You're going to be sent to this Telegram signal bot. Okay. And then from this point, yes, you're going to press start, and you're going to be greeted with a message like this. You're going to have three options here. You're going to have the 1 day free trial, which I would highly advise you just check out and add the indicator and see how it goes. And then after that day, you can purchase the $99 for 30-day plan. This is the one I picked. And then I upgraded to the lifetime plan after I hit a certain amount of profit. And I would probably advise that you guys do similar things there. But once you've clicked that 1 day free trial, you're going to get this prompt to say, hey, smash in your TradingView username. So paste that in there. How do you actually get your TradingView username? Let me just show you. What you got to do is go to your profile, copy that bad boy as you can see here, and then go back over to Telegram, paste that in, and it's going to automatically add it to your TradingView account for 1 day. Now, if we go over to our chart again here, the way you would add this indicator is going over to this button here, as you can see, and then go down to invite only scripts. Find the indicator. You can see here the signaler is right there. And then all you got to do is just click it, and it's going to be added to your chart. You can actually see all the profit it generates here with this chart. But if that doesn't interest you, you can actually just go here and then trade it as you would normally do. Now, another thing I would advise here is actually checking out the Signaler VIP community. You can see all of the results that people are getting with this thing that could give you hints on which assets it will be working effectively on. So you can see here, this guy made 2,600% on a crazy short here on DYM USDT. And then there are some other results here that have been working ridiculously well. This guy obviously made 1,000 on one trade and then 2,000 on another trade. Really nice stuff. You don't need to be aiming that high with your trades, guys, but yeah, it's just a good example of how this community are making ridiculous amounts of money with this indicator without having all the complexities of RSI and pattern trading and all this other stuff that can really just throw you in random directions. If you just follow one strategy and you follow that strategy well, that's where the money is made. And this community is really the proof of that. But that is the signaler indicator. If you want to see more indicators, then definitely let me know in the comments. But that's going to be it for this video. Definitely check this one out in the description because it's making a lot of money for a lot of people. And if you don't want to miss out, then definitely get involved in the description. Get that 1 day free trial. But that's going to be it for this video. I will see you in the next one.